The mission briefing room ship Orion Path hung in orbit above a green world called Elunari. It was peaceful. From the window, rivers glittered like silver threads, and the forests moved like soft waves under the twin suns. But no one in the briefing room was looking out the window except him. Liam sat at the back, quiet as always, with his hand under his chin. His uniform was slightly wrinkled, boots still dusted from the surface patrol. Most of the crew didn't pay him much attention. He didn't speak much. He didn't need to. "All right," Captain Harlan said from the front, pointing to a holo map. "Elunari's tribal leaders are allowing only one Earth ambassador into the sacred meeting planes tomorrow. It's a trust gesture. We're sending Aelin as our diplomat." The room nodded. That name made Liam blink. Aylin wasn't human. She was tall, elegant, and from the Elunari species silver skin that shimmered under soft light, large dark eyes, and hair that flowed like dark metal. She was trained by Earth's Peace Division, chosen for her deep knowledge of both species. And Liam? He was just part of the protection crew. She stood up now, quiet, graceful, confident. Her voice was soft but clear. "I understand the risk. I will not fail." Liam watched her. Not because he had to, because he couldn't help it. She was everything he wasn't. Calm, gentle, perfect. And that word slipped from his lips. Perfect. He whispered it. Barely a breath. Barely a sound. He didn't even realize he said it aloud until she paused. Aylin tilted her head ever so slightly. Her eyes, those deep, endless eyes, turned back toward him. Liam looked away quickly. Cheeks burning. "She heard me." The room moved on. The captain dismissed them. Plans were finalized. Everyone left to prepare. But Aylin stayed a second longer, and before she turned away, her lips moved. Not a smile. Not a full word. Just one glance over her shoulder, and a whisper, "I heard you." The walk to the plains. Liam tried to keep his head down the next morning. The mission was simple. Walk with Aylin across the open valley to the meeting. Plains, remain 5 paces behind, stay silent unless she was in danger. That was it. But nothing felt simple. He had barely slept. The memory of her voice saying, "I heard you," echoed all night. Was she just teasing him? Or did it mean more? He checked his gear again. Nothing fancy. Standard armor. No helmet. A sidearm at the hip. Earth had made it clear. This was a diplomatic mission. No threat. No weapons raised. Aylin met him at the airlock, wearing traditional Elunari robes of flowing silver and deep blue. Her hair was tied back, revealing the elegant lines of her face. "Are you ready, Liam?" she asked. Voice calmed. He nodded quickly, eyes avoiding hers. "Yes, ready." They walked side by side through the misty field. The land was beautiful. Purple flowers bloomed from the grass, and thin white trees stretched into the sky like reaching fingers. Aylin broke the silence. "Most humans would not call me perfect," she said slowly. "You must have very unusual taste." Liam stumbled a step. I didn't mean to say it out loud." "But you did," she replied gently, "and I heard it." He looked at her, then away. "I'm sorry if it was disrespectful. I wasn't trying to make you uncomfortable." "You didn't." She looked ahead, long strides silent in the grass. It was honest. That word honest hit something in him. He wasn't used to people calling him that. He'd been many things during his short service in the Terran Corps. Quiet, efficient, replaceable, never honest. The silence returned, but now it was less awkward. Aylin eventually stopped at a stone marker. "From here, I go alone. You will wait at the edge of the clearing." Liam nodded, standing back. "Understood." She took a few steps away, then paused. "I find it strange," she said, her back to him. "Among my people, compliments are shared like food. But among humans, they are rare, often hidden." He scratched the back of his neck. "Maybe we're just afraid to say things we really mean." Aylin looked over her shoulder, expression unreadable. Then perhaps you are braver than you think. And then she walked on graceful, calm, glowing like starlight in the morning sun. Liam stood alone, heart pounding, staring after her as the valley wind moved gently round him. Something had changed, and he didn't understand it yet, but he wanted to. The warning in the wind. Liam stood at the edge of the clearing for over an hour. The soft grass beneath his boots swayed gently in the breeze, and he could hear distant voices, unfamiliar, echoing through the trees. Aelin was with the Elunari elders now. She was calm. She knew how to speak their way, how to show respect without bending too far. He trusted her, but his eyes never left the tree line. He'd been a soldier long enough to feel when something was off, and something was off. The wind had changed. The forest was too quiet now. Even the soft chirping of the valley birds had stopped. His hand moved slowly toward his sidearm. Then, a flash of movement to the right. He crouched instinctively, lowering his body behind a moss-covered rock. He scanned the forest. Movement again this time to the left. They were watching. He tapped the small communicator in his collar. Command. This is Liam, stationed at meeting point Alpha. Possible movement in the woods. No visuals, but multiple signs. Please advise. The response was static. Then silence. He tried again, still nothing. A bad sign. And then, from the direction Aelin had walked toward, came a sound that froze his blood. A sharp cry. She was in trouble. Liam didn't hesitate. He broke into a sprint. Across the clearing, pushing through the tall grass, feet pounding the earth. His hand was already on his weapon, safety off. When he reached the central gathering stone, Aelin was there but not alone. 3 masked figures stood around her, all cloaked in red armor. One held a strange weapon pointed at her chest. Another had a translator device, speaking through a static-filled voice modulator. She is not your true leader, the figure said in a deep tone. She speaks for the invaders, earth poisons, our ways. Aelin stood straight. I speak for peace. You speak for conquest. Liam stepped forward, weapon raised. Let her go. All 3 figures turned toward him, surprised. Aelin's eyes met his, not afraid but locked in focus. Liam, she said softly. Don't. But the man closest to her turned and shoved her down. That was enough. Liam fired once, hitting the attacker's shoulder. He ducked low, rolling behind a stone pillar, then fired again, this time striking a second one in the leg. The 3rd attacker ran. Liam chased after him, cutting through the thick vines, dodging roots, heart racing. They ran too fast, but Liam had earth gravity on his side. Elunari trained. Or not. They weren't built for speed. He tackled the last attacker near a stream and pinned him down. Who sent you? Liam growled. The attacker didn't answer. But he didn't need to, because when Liam pulled off the mask, he saw something worse than a warrior's rage. He saw a familiar face. It wasn't an alien. It was a human. The man behind the mask. Liam stared down at the face beneath the cracked red mask. A human. Dust on his cheek. A deep scar over his left eyebrow. The man's eyes narrowed in anger but not surprise. It was like he expected Liam. You, Liam said, stunned. You're not supposed to be here. What the hell are you doing? The man gave a crooked smile. You're late, soldier boy. Liam tightened his grip. Answer the question. Why are humans attacking our own diplomat? The man hissed. She's not one of us. You think just because she walks and talks like a diplomat, she's loyal. Wake up. Earth isn't what it used to be. Some of us haven't forgotten that. You're rogue, Liam said, heart pounding. No. We're realists. From the side, Aelin's voice called. Liam. He looked back. She was limping toward him, a gash on her arm, but still upright, still proud. She knelt beside the second attacker, unconscious on the grass, and checked his pulse. He'll live, she said, voice soft. She looked up at Liam, then at the man he had pinned. Her eyes grew sharp. I know him, she said quietly. Liam frowned. You do. He was part of the earlier Earth-Lunari exchange team. He vanished 2 years ago. The man chuckled, didn't vanish. Just left. We saw what Earth was doing, planting seeds in alien culture, pretending to bring peace while preparing control. She's just another tool. Liam looked at Aelin. She met his gaze without fear. She's not a tool, Liam said, voice hard. The man raised his eyebrow. Oh, falling for her, are you? Liam didn't answer. Aelin's hand gently touched Liam's wrist. Let him go. What? Liam turned to her. He tried to kill you. And if you hold him here, it will only fuel their story. We're not here for revenge. Liam hesitated, eyes still locked with the prisoner. But finally, he let go. The man stood up slowly, holding his side, then glanced at Aelin. Just wait, he said. When the truth reaches the stars, you'll see we were right. Then he disappeared into the forest. Limping but determined. Silence returned to the clearing. Liam turned to Aelin. You okay? She nodded. Thanks to you. He looked down at her arm. You're bleeding. Asterisk, she smiled faintly. It looks worse than it is. He pulled a small med patch from his kit and gently pressed it over the wound. She didn't flinch, but as his fingers brushed her skin, something warm passed between them, soft, quiet, almost unspoken. She looked at him closely, voice low. You didn't have to come. He looked back at her. I wanted to. There was a pause. Then Aelin whispered, I'm starting to believe you meant what you said. Liam's breath caught. About you being perfect. She nodded once. He smiled awkwardly. I didn't think you'd hear that. I did, she said, standing. And I haven't stopped thinking about it. The moment held for a few seconds longer. Then Aelin turned. Come. We still have a meeting to finish. Liam followed, but now something was different. Not just duty. Not just protection. Something more was growing in the silence between them. Asterisk her words. His silent-sea sky above the plains was changing. Color soft orange melting into a rich purple as the twin suns began to sink. Aelin and Liam walked side by side again. This time more slowly. Each step quieter than the last. They had lost time after the attack. But the Lunari elders were still waiting. Liam looked at Aelin's side, where the blood-stained cloth had been, replaced with a clean patch. She moved as if nothing had happened, tall and graceful as ever. But inside, he knew she felt it. He felt it too. When they reached the ceremonial stone circle, 6 Lunari elders stood waiting. Their robes were layered with gold-threaded fabric, and long staffs glowed softly in the dim light. One of them, the tallest, stepped forward. We sensed conflict, the elder said calmly. There was blood on the wind. Aelin bowed deeply. Yes, there was an attack by a rogue group. But the peace still stands. The elder's gaze shifted to Liam and the protector. Liam stepped forward. I am Liam. I stayed hidden as ordered. But when the danger appeared, I acted to defend. The envoy. The elder nodded slowly. You acted with purpose, with loyalty. Aelin spoke again, and with heart. The elders murmured among themselves, ancient voices carrying weight and wisdom. The tallest one finally said, Then speak your truth, Aelin of Earth. Why do you believe your species is ready for alliance with the Lunari? Aelin took a step forward. Her voice, when it came, was soft but full of strength. Because we are not perfect. We are flawed. We learn through mistakes. But we care. We protect. We give second chances. She glanced back at Liam. And sometimes, we see something beautiful in others when they least expect it. The elder's head tilted. You speak of human feelings. Emotion. Does this guide your judgment? Yes, Aelin answered. And I believe that is why Earth is strong. Not because of our weapons. Not because of our ships. But because of how deeply we feel. Silence. Then the elder looked to Liam. And you, human, do you agree? Liam hesitated. He wasn't a speaker. He hated standing in front of crowds, even quiet ones like this. But now all eyes were on him. Aylin's too. He cleared his throat. I don't have fancy words. I'm just a soldier. But I know what it means to risk something for someone else. I know what it means to trust someone even when it's hard. His voice grew quieter. And I know that when you find someone who makes you see the galaxy differently, you hold on to that. Even if you're scared. Aylin's lips parted just slightly. The elder nodded again, satisfied. You both speak truth. We will consider Earth's offer. Your actions today speak louder than any message. The ceremony ended quietly. No grand music, no bright lights, just a calm understanding between two species. As Liam and Aylin walked away from the circle, she spoke. You didn't have to say that. I wanted to, he said softly. I meant every word. She stopped walking, turned toward him. I know, she whispered, and that's what scares me. He blinked. Why? Because humans feel so strongly. You burn so fast. She stepped closer. And sometimes you burn those closest to you. Liam met her gaze. Then maybe we burn together, he said quietly. She looked at him long and hard. Then she smiled. Not the diplomatic smile. A real one. Asterisk the night fire glowed. Night. The Earth team stayed in a temporary shelter near the valley ridge. Small glowing plants lined the path outside, giving the whole area a soft, dreamlike light. The Illuminari called it night fire, a sign of peace and renewal. Liam sat on a flat stone just outside the shelter, his jacket draped over his shoulders. He stared at the twin moons rising slowly in the sky. His thoughts swirled not about the mission, not about the attack, but about her. Aylen. She had stayed inside for a while after the meeting, speaking with the other diplomats. But now, he heard soft footsteps approaching. He didn't turn around. He already knew it was her. Mind if I sit? She asked gently. He shook his head. It's your planet. She laughed softly and sat beside him for a while. They just looked up at the sky. The moons look like eyes, Liam said, watching us. They are, Aylin replied. Our stories say the moons see every truth, even the ones we try to hide. Liam smiled faintly. Then I guess they saw me screw up a dozen times this week. They also saw you save me, she said. He turned to look at her. Her silver skin glowed in the moonlight, soft and warm. Her eyes didn't blink as she looked at him. Why me? She asked. What do you mean? You could have run when the attack started, stayed safe, followed orders. But you came for me. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, because when I thought something might happen to you, I felt something inside me twist, like I couldn't breathe. Like losing you would tear something out of me. She looked away for a moment, then back at him. You feel too much. He laughed a little. Yeah, that's a human thing. Aylin reached out and placed her hand gently over his. Her fingers were longer than his, delicate but strong. I don't know what's happening between us, she said, but I don't want it to end when we return to the ship. His heart jumped. You mean that? She nodded slowly. I've seen many humans speak in meetings, smile at me with hollow eyes. But you whispered the truth when you thought I couldn't hear you. Liam squeezed her hand. And I still think it. Every time I see you, you're perfect. Aylin leaned her head gently on his shoulder. Her voice was barely a whisper now. You don't need to say it again. Why? Because now I believe it. They sat there in silence as the night fire glowed softly round them, lighting the grass, the rocks, the world. In that quiet moment, surrounded by alien stars and glowing plants, they weren't just a diplomat and a soldier. They were to hearts one human, one alien beating in the same rhythm under the same sky. Asterisk the return to Star's morning came slowly to Illuminari. The grass shimmered with dew, and soft winds drifted across the open valley. Liam stood by the shuttle ramp, waiting as the last of the Earth team prepared to leave. The mission had ended better than anyone expected. New trust, new alliance, and quiet smiles between two species that once feared each other. But his mind wasn't on the mission report. It was on her. Aelin appeared from the trail, walking calmly, her diplomatic robe fluttering in the breeze. A small group of Illuminari elders walked with her. They offered a traditional farewell gesture, open hands across the chest. Before stepping back into the trees, Aylin stopped in front of Liam. They accepted the agreement. She said, Earth and Illuminari will share knowledge, science, and language training. It's official. Liam smiled. You did it. We did, she corrected. They stood quietly for a moment, neither ready to walk up the ramp just yet. So Liam said, shifting awkwardly, What happens now? Aelin tilted her head. Now we go back to the stars. Back to duties, reports, long days in the ship's hallways. He nodded slowly. And us? He asked. She smiled faintly. That depends. On what? On whether the stars are ready for two people from different worlds who feel the same fire. He met her, gaze steady and strong. I don't care what the stars are ready for. I only care what you want. Aelin took a step closer, until there was no distance between them. I want the truth, she said. Always. He leaned in slightly. Then here it is. He took her hand. I don't know where this goes, but I don't want to walk it without you. Her eyes sparkled, soft and warm. You speak simply, but your words go deep. She leaned forward. Dan pressed her forehead gently against his. Among Illuminari, that was more than a kiss. It was a bond. The wind passed through them like a soft breath. From the shuttle's side window, the crew watched, but no one spoke. Even in silence, everyone understood. This wasn't just the end of a mission. It was the beginning of something more. Hours later, the Orion path rose into the sky, engines glowing faintly as it climbed toward the stars. Inside, Aelin sat beside Liam in the viewing deck. Their shoulders touched lightly. Neither said much. They just watched as the planet below grew smaller, fading into black space. Then Aelin finally broke the quiet. I heard you, that first time. Liam smiled. Yeah, I figured. She turned to him. And now, I want to say it back. He blinked. Say what? Aelin reached up and brushed her fingers across his cheek. You're perfect too. And this time, he heard it. Every word.